Our top story this evening on Up South is from Bangalore, where the mother of a class 10 student has filed a case against a group of her schoolmates for allegedly harassing her daughter to have sex chats with them. We are told that the messages to the daughter also have been apparently vulgar and very humiliating. A complaint has also been lodged with the Bangalore City Police against the school's teachers for neglecting the girl's complaint. The mother claims that the harassment has been going on for the last 2 years, and despite repeated complaints made by her and her husband, the school management did not take any action. In November last year, when the victim was at an event, the boys allegedly hit her with a volleyball and injured her. The police have taken up the case under POCSO Act and are investigating. My colleague Pratibha Raman spoke to the parent of the girl.
A very disturbing story from Bangalore. I have with me the mother of the victim who has been fighting for her case. Ma'am, क्या आप बता सकते हैं कि कैसे हुआ ये सब? 2 वर्ष से आप लड़ रहे हैं.
मैडम 2 साल से मैं लड़ रही हूँ अपने बच्चे के लिए. मेरा बच्चा स्कूल में पढ़ रहा है, आर्मी स्कूल में 2nd से पढ़ रही है, अभी 10th में है. बट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम वो स्कूल नहीं जा रही है, क्योंकि मैडम जो को स्टूडेंट्स आए हैं उसके उनको आर्मी से बैकग्राउंड है उनका. तो मैडम 6 चैट के लिए पहले उससे प्रोवोक किया गया कि आप 6 चैट्स करो. मैडम वल्गर से वल्गर चैट जो हम लोग ने नहीं देखा कि 18 के नीचे कोई बच्चे करते हैं, वो चैट फिर सब लड़कों के सामने उसको गंदा गंदा उसकी बॉडी पार्ट्स के लिए बोलना. फिर बाद में उसे बोला गया कि ठीक है यार, ये नहीं सुनते, इसने कंप्लेंट की है प्रिंसिपल के पास, तो इसको रेप करते हैं और फिर हम लोग इसको एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं. फिर मैडम उस लड़के जो लड़कियां हैं वो थोड़ा राउडीज्म है मैडम, क्लास में आके वॉल को मारना, ये मारना. तो मेरा बच्चा जितना परेशान हुआ है मैडम रातों में, उसे रिक्वेस्ट की है उन पेरेंट्स से, उस बच्ची से रिक्वेस्ट की है फोन करके, और मत करो मैं सुसाइड कर लूंगी, लेकिन मैडम उन पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा.
जब आप 2 साल क्यों वेट किए? क्या आपको नहीं लग रहा था कि पुलिस से कंप्लेंट दर्ज
पुलिस
किया
नहीं
जाए?
मैडम, चाइल्ड राइट कमीशन में जब आप गए थे तो उनका यही कहना है कि क्योंकि आप चाइल्ड राइट कमीशन में आए हो, आप पुलिस और कोर्ट में नहीं अप्रोच कर सकते. अगर आप वहां करेंगे तो यहाँ से केस कैंसिल हो जाता है. तो हम लोगों ने वहां किया, लेकिन अभी तक हमको एक ऑफिशियल लेटर भी चाइल्ड राइट कमीशन से नहीं मिला है. एट लास्ट जब कमिश्नर ने हमको बोला कि हमें पुलिस कंप्लेंट चाहिए कहीं से, तो मैं उस दिन गई, लेकिन वहां पे भी काफी इंतजार के बाद और आलोक कुमार सर के बीच में आने के बाद ही मेरा कंप्लेंट बुक हुआ है मैडम ने. तो उसके
her classmates, they hit her with volleyball, and then she also told that these people, they have been harassing her in her school, which is in probably Alleges police station limit. We are investigating whether there was any lapse on the part of the school authorities, that whether she has brought this harassment by her classmates and other people to school, and what is the action taken by them. So we will investigate all these matters and will take action as per the law.
Joining me now from Hyderabad is clinical psychiatrist Dr. Purnima Nagaraja, also Pratibha Raman, who has reported on the story, joining me from Bangalore. Dr. Nagaraja, this is a very serious matter and extremely disturbing story, given the fact that the girl is also appearing for her class 10 board exams. What would you tell her? How does she deal with a very disturbing situation like this?
See, the first thing I would do is to empower her to learn how to put this aside first, because compartmentalizing right now is most important, and that is the most tough thing to do. And along with that, some relaxation exercises to help her take her mind off these things, to be able to sleep better. And probably if she is severely depressed or has severe anxiety issues, then probably she would need maybe a mild anxiolytic or an antidepressant to help her tide through this kind of a situation.
Right, Pratibha, what the mother said is extremely significant, that neither the school nor the Child Rights Commission in Karnataka actually took note of the complaint filed by the parents. But now that the police case has been filed under POCSO Act, what has been the reaction of the school? Are they taking any action?
Well, in fact, Steve, right from the very beginning, the school has maintained that no such incident ever took place. But then the parents allege that, in fact, soon after the girl complained to the Child Rights Commission as well as the principal, the treatment has changed in the sense that she has been isolated completely. Nobody really talks to her. She's all by herself. And she's also gone on to tell us that the CCTV camera inside the school would actually prove how she has been isolated. But now, after the case that has been registered, the police has gone to the school along with the victim as well as the parents and taken note of both sides of the story, and the line of investigation is going in such a manner to find out whether the school management has played any role in covering up evidences, covering up facts, not being negligent towards the case or the complaint. Sudhir.
Right, Dr. Purnima Nagaraja, what Pratibha is pointing out is perhaps at the core of the issue, because The schools live in denial. What do you think the parents in this case and the school should do now, in this particular case?
So first, I would like to take it up with the institutions because they need to understand that girl bashing is not the answer, and most of them think that the girl is always at fault, and that even ostracizing her or blaming her or demeaning her in front of other students and telling her that she's too bold. These are the things that most institutions do. They should worry less about their reputation as an institution and more about the safety of the girl child, and that would be a lot better. As far as parents go, parents with their anxiety, I know that they mean to be, very supportive, but they will always ask questions like, so why do you have to be on Facebook? So why do you need all these friends? So why do you need to, move around with these friends? Don't you know that they're not very good people? Didn't we tell you? So you see, these are classic things that parents would say in their anxiety. So at this moment, what the child needs is support and less blaming. So even if it's anxiety based, even if it's well-meaning, at the moment, I think advice should be kept aside, and you should empower her to say, okay, it's over, whatever is done, we'll help you deal with it, we are with you all the way. This is the way you can empower a child and take this further.
Right. Dr. Purnima Nagaraja from Hyderabad and Pratibha Raman from Bangalore, thanks a lot for joining us on Up South. Now, staying with news from Karnataka, the state government has made it mandatory to videograph all parties where foreigners are invited. Of course, Bangalore has not been included in this list in the Gazette notification which was issued on the 26th of February. In fact, the Gazette mandates the organizers of parties to organize programs that are in tune with Indian culture and tradition. It also mentions that all parties and music shows should end by 10 p.m. In fact, when Headlines Today asked Chief Minister Siddaramaiah about it, he said he's not aware of the Gazette. Joining me now from Bangalore for a perspective is fashion expert Prasad Bidappa. Mr. Bidappa, apparently the idea is that wherever there is no CCTV, there should be some kind of a videographing of any activity that takes place, and in this case, parties involving foreigners. But what do you really make of this government gazette that has been issued last week involving foreigners, that now they will be videographed, and how do you see the tourists and business travelers reacting to it?
Well, I think that this is a very retrograde step because don't they have anything better to do? I want to know who's going to be looking at all these videos and checking these videos. How many man hours are going to be wasted in this completely pointless exercise? It seems to me that every day the government is passing an order of time wasting. For a country that's trying to move forward, our politicians are very good at holding them back. So I think it's an absolutely stupid and irrational move, and I cannot understand at whose door this responsibility should be laid. You all should really name and shame the person who came up with this idea.
Okay, you obviously have a very strong opinion on the government gazette that has been issued last week, but at the moment Bangalore city has been kept out of this gazette notification. But what happens if Bangalore also tomorrow is brought under its ambit?
I'm not sure whether Bangalore will follow in these footsteps, but I don't know. The police can hardly police Bangalore properly. Now, if you put them in charge of watching hundreds of hours of party videos, I'm sure they'll have a very good time. And I just hope it won't happen in Bangalore. But on a lighter note, I must say that the people who are going to benefit are all the video makers and video parlors and, the cameramen of this state. Because they're going to have their work cut out for them, and they're all going to open big businesses and just be, partying all night and shooting all night. So I think it's really one of the silliest things I've ever heard about.
Right. Mr. Bidappa, Karnataka's tourism tag is one state, many worlds, and many foreigners may find this state to be in a world of its own. How do you see this move impacting tourism?
Karnataka tourism is definitely going to be impacted by this move because a lot of foreigners and a lot of visitors to our state are going to think that this is some kind of a police state, that they're going to be monitored, they're going to be put under the magnifying glass. How much of intrusion do you really want to give a visitor who comes to our beautiful state? I think that Karnataka tourism has to really rethink this policy.
Right. Mr. Prasad Bidappa, thanks a lot for joining us on Up South. Now we hope Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao is watching this next report, because that really reflects the state of healthcare in India's youngest state, Telangana. Because yesterday at the government maternity hospital in Koti in Hyderabad, there was no power for several hours. which meant pregnant women and young mothers with their newborns had a harrowing time. As the visuals on your screen show, the generators were provided only to an operation theatre and the labour room, and many of these wards were in complete darkness. Time the Telangana government ensures an efficient backup and redressal mechanism. In Andhra Pradesh, Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu is busy convincing farmers to give up their land, their fertile land, for the sake of the state capital that will be built in the Vijayawada-Guntur region. But at the same time, leader of the opposition, Jagan Mohan Reddy, is telling the same farmers that once, if and when he comes to power, he will actually return that land to the farmers. So that is a face-off taking place between Chandrababu Naidu and Jagan Mohan Reddy. The government has managed to pull 32,000 acres till now, spread over 29 villages in the...
ఎప్పుడు ప్రభుత్వం పోయినా కూడా మళ్ళీ ఎన్నికలు వస్తాయి. ఈసారి ఎన్నికలు వచ్చినప్పుడు చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు గారికి డిపాజిట్లు కూడా రాకుండా పోతాయి. దాని తర్వాత ఖచ్చితంగా మనం అధికారంలోకి వస్తాం. మనం అధికారంలోకి వచ్చిన వెంటనే బలవంతంగా తీసుకున్న భూములన్నీ కూడా వాళ్ళ రైతులకు అందరికీ మళ్ళీ వెనక్కి తిరిగిస్తామని చెప్పి మాత్రం హామీ ఇస్తా ఉన్నాం మీ అందరికీ.
Now, what's really happening with the Aranmula Greenfield Airport project? Now, despite a Supreme Court order in November last year that prohibited the construction of the Aranmula Airport project in Kerala, the Environment Economic Survey, which was released last week, actually includes the project as one of the projects which will be taken up in the next financial year. Now, so the question that arises is that how does the central government propose to do this? Will it actually go against the Supreme Court's order?
Already stated so many times about the state government's view. This was not came in our time. This was a project given all sanctions by the previous state government. If there is a permission from the central government, we will not oppose. So it is up to the airport company to get the sanction from the government of India. I am told that at present there is no permission. Then there is no question of state government to interfere.
I don't know why they are doing like this. This is a typical example of this government functioning, saying one thing and doing another thing. Actually, their Kerala BJP unit is also vehemently opposing the project, and they are telling that this government of India is not going to introduce this project. But now in the plan economics review and also budget, there is an allocation to this Aranmula project.
Joining me now is our Deputy Editor Rohini Swamy, who has been following this story from Kerala. Rohini, K.C. Venugopal was the Minister of State for Civil Aviation in the previous UPA government. The Kerala lot seem to be surprised by the fact that this project has been included in the economic survey. What really is happening on the ground?
Well, they're pretty perplexed as to how this Aranmula project has come up in the economic survey of the Modi government. The simple reason that yes, at one point of time this project was shelved because it did not have economic clearances, environmental clearances, and then suddenly they find that this is being proposed as an achievement of the Airport Authority of India's greenfield airports across the country, among the list of others. Now the point is that it had not got the Green Tribunal, National Green Tribunal, had not given it environmental clearances. Secondly, also the Aranmula temple that is close by, because of that there was stiff opposition from people there, and also they have been saying that it could possibly pose as a threat in that area, in Patanamthitta area. Let me also point out that the local BJP leader or MT Ramesh had actually fought the elections for the Lok Sabha based on the Aranmula project itself, saying he will not allow it to come to be established. Now the point remains that at one point of time, as soon as the BJP government came into power, they said they will not allow the project because it has no clearances. And now we see how in the economic survey of India that it turns up. The UPA government had very clearly said that they will not allow it. There will be no clearances for it. But still, we see how this has turned up. Another point that is being made is that, especially on the Aranmula airport, around that area, is that the people over there have resisted, saying Pathanamthitta area, though they feel that there should be some kind of development, the airport over there will definitely will spoil the ecosystem in that area.
Right. So, is there some kind of a case for a fresh environmental survey which could be done to perhaps facilitate the takeoff of the Aranmula project?
Well, definitely this economic survey is pointing towards that there has to be a fresh survey, environmental survey that needs to be done. Another point that the economic survey is pointing out to is that a lot of these airports that are being set up in new greenfield airports is bringing a lot of revenue. And that is one reason why they've gone ahead and cleared so many greenfield airports in the country. Aranmula featuring one of that. But yes, they will have to seek fresh clearances, especially when already the National Green Tribunal has said that enough is enough. They have gone through enough surveys and they said it cannot be done and it is not feasible.
Right. Rohini, Swami, thanks a lot for joining us on that story from Kerala. We will come back to you. We know Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has applied for 10 days of sick leave to be at the Jindal Institute of Naturopathy on Tumkur Road near Bangalore for treatment. My colleague Rohini Swami brings us this exclusive report from inside the Jindal Institute.
We are inside the premises of the Jindal Nature Care Institute and we have here exclusive access to the place where Arvind Kejriwal will be spending 10 days for his naturopathy treatment. This is the place that is largely called Nest and he will be here all those 10 days along with his family spending time. What we are given to understand is that in part of his treatment also will be a very strict regime that has to be followed. He has to stay away from his political affairs and he will also have to be like a normal person who comes here for treatment. This is not the first time that he has come here, and we are here with Dr. Babita. You have treated him earlier also, ma'am, and his problem of diabetes, of asthma, acute bronchitis. Why does it keep recurring that he has to come back to Jindal for treatment?
Maybe his political pressures and stress, because as we believe that stress is the bottom line for all the diseases. So once his stress levels are high, maybe definitely that is the reason that his diabetes also would have spiked up. And moreover, the lifestyle habits what he is following now because of his busy schedule, especially his dietary pattern, yogic exercises, pranayams, all these things will have a negative impact on his health whenever he is stressed. So that is the reason he is coming here, so that he can detox his system, rejuvenate his system, and then he can follow up the good habits, the exercises, the diet pattern, whatever we prescribe here, so that he can follow it up after going back home and keep his disease under control.
Rohini Swami is with me from Bangalore. Rohini, so this means that Arvind Kejriwal has not gone by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's advice to go to the doctor that he had suggested in Bangalore.
Well, he's decided to go with 50% of the advice. He's decided to go with naturopathy, but not with the place where the Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi had suggested he goes. Instead, he's decided to go to Jindal Nature Care Institute, and he's expected to be in Bangalore around noon tomorrow. He leaves around 9 a.m. Delhi, after which he goes through a complete regime, strict regime for 10 days. No mobile phones are allowed only for half an hour, especially when he's resting through the day. Otherwise, during his treatment, he cannot use his mobile phones. He cannot communicate with either his cabinet or anybody from the party. This is going to be detox, as the doctor has said, purging out all kinds of negativism, all kinds of anything possibly could cause stress in Arvind Kejriwal. So here for 10 days, he's going to be locked in.
Right.
At this naturopathy center, and he's also done this before, but he has found relief, and that is why he's coming back again.
Okay, Rohini, so it's going to be a very different life for Arvind Kejriwal over the next 10 days there near Bengaluru, and hopefully he will find the Aam Aadmi Party in the same shape that he leaves it in tomorrow's sometime. Thanks a lot, Rohini, for joining us there from on Up South. That's it then on Up South.